What is going on, you guys? Jonathan here. So today we are working on the car. I love it when I work on the car, but we're working on brakes. Now, I've changed the brakes before in the past, but for some reason, I don't know why, I just keep having this nasty steering wheel wobbling every single time I change the brakes. I've done, front rotors like 3 times at this point, and I did the pads the first time I changed the rotors, but after I changed the rotors, for some reason, every 3 weeks later, roughly, the steering wheel wobbling comes back. So I was using Zimmerman rotors for the first 2, and then I used Techstar rotors the 3rd time. Now I'm going to my mechanic right now at World Auto Service to change the rotors again for the 4th time. This time I'm using genuine BMW rotors, so I figured, well, for some reason I've always had issues with this car as far as it being allergic to anything that's not genuine. I don't know why, but I guess this car just, throws a fit every time I throw something on it that's just not genuine BMW. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to be putting on genuine pads, genuine rotors, so BMW everything. So I'm starting to think that maybe it's not necessarily the rotors, but it could be the pads I'm using right now, which are Techstar pads. And maybe those are messing up my rotors, and that's why I have this nasty steering wheel wobbling. I'll try to get a clip to show you guys what it looks like. But it always happens when I'm under braking, and now, since the last time I changed the rotors, it started doing it, the wobbling started occurring even while I'm accelerating or just coasting, if I'm doing like 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. Of course on a highway where the speeds are permitted, but with that being said, we're going to my mechanic right now, so we're going to get this sorted out, and hopefully this will be done once and for all, so let's go. I don't know if you guys can see how bad this is. I don't know if the camera's able to pick it up pretty good, but I'm coasting right now. I'm not even on the brakes, and you see how my hand is just vibrating while on the wheel, and that's really annoying because it's been doing this since like mid-July, and as I've said before, I've been, trying different rotors. I've been like 3 times to the shop and, just changed them because I thought I kept warping them for some reason, but this time I'm starting to believe that it could be related to the pads and the fact that everything is not genuine. It's all OEM, which honestly you don't even know anymore these days what you're getting. But nonetheless, the parts that I got are from FCP Euro, so good thing that they're covered, so no headaches there. But I really hope I get this resolved, right now, when I go to my mechanic. My friend with the Crown Vic that I reviewed last week, he had a similar problem with his car, with his brakes. He was using Ford pads and rotors, and he had a very similar issue. And it took him a couple attempts to figure it out. He had like a wobbling for a year, I think it was, until he got rid of it. So, hoping that we fix this time. Alright, so we are here. So, World Auto Service. This is actually where I bought my car over 6 years ago. So, yeah, here we are. So I'm just doing a subframe inspection right here. Make sure there's no cracks. Everything looks fine. As you can see, no cracks, at least to the naked eye, so subframe is still good. So what is going on, you guys? We finally got the brakes fixed on the car. I got new pads, new rotors, like I told you earlier. I want to apologize that I didn't really get that great of footage while I was there. It's because Andy, the guy who was working on the car, he wasn't necessarily too camera friendly, and of course I want to respect the guy's opinion. So with that, like I said, unfortunately I didn't get enough footage, but with that, pads and rotors are put on and the car handles really well. I was on I-95, the interstate highway, and all the shimmying is gone, all the vibrations are gone, so the car handles beautifully now. Under braking, everything's good. Of course, I'm going gentle on it, so I make sure that I wear everything in just right, but everything's gone, so it's not like, it feels like the wheels are going to fall off the car when I'm driving it, anything like that. It's not like my hands are, completely numb from all the vibrating from, driving on the highway, all these speeds, and, all the vibrations, of course. So with that, everything's good. I'm going to Home Depot right now so I can buy a toolbox, so I can finally do work on the car at home and just do something that I really enjoy doing, wrenching on cars. So with that, let's jump right to it. I also ran to Home Depot and I got this really awesome tool set. It's 230 piece, really awesome. I didn't have my camera, so I didn't get a chance to record, but I've got all sorts of sockets, all sorts of, spanner wrenches, everything you could ever want, good variety. Alright guys, so I actually picked up a set of factory Xenons for the car because these are literally impossible to find, and they're pretty expensive on eBay. Even used, they go for a couple $100. Brand new, these headlights are between $700 and $1,500 a piece. But some guy on Facebook groups was parting headlights out for a BMW E46, and I picked them up. These are factory Xenons, so they work perfect. Everything is aligned the way it should be. It's right from the factory, so there's no problems with fitment. If you guys saw my video on the car mods that I did, you see that I did a projector retrofit using parts from the retrofit source. Good site, no problem with the retrofit source. I'm not bashing them or anything like that, but the problem is with those lights, I had to cut the bowl about this much because I was using halogen headlights. That's what I had before. And if you can see here, you have to cut the bowl so you can fit the projector, but the problem is the projectors that I used, they're really big, and basically they have 4 little holes in the back where you would screw them in to the plastics of the reflector bowl, but because so much of the bowl got cut away, there was no way to screw them in, no way for the projector to be supported by the bowls right here. So what I had to do was I had to basically use a caulk, which is like an epoxy, to glue it in, but of course because the projectors get so hot, what happened is that the heat softened the epoxy, the glue, and basically when you drive over a pothole or if you slam the hood, the projectors are, they shift to a different angle, and therefore you don't have the beams shining in the right direction, so of course that bothers me. So the only remedy for that really is to get something that's OEM, just like this, which is from an early E46, so it'll fit no problem, or to do smaller projectors, which I don't really... I can't be bothered with that right now, or to go ahead and use a stronger glue, or try to, get it stable, using another method. But for right now, I just can't really be bothered with that, so I'm going to do the next best thing, which is to just put in the OEM headlights. And, I've always wanted these. After I did my retrofit, I said, those OEM lights just look so clean. So, of course, that's what I'm doing. I actually had to take these apart because, I noticed that the headlight, these bowls were actually broken inside the housing, and the reason why is because this little white clip here, this goes right into a ball joint, and it allows you to aim the headlight, and therefore this allows the light to basically move up and down, and this was broken. This was completely loose inside the headlight assembly, inside the housing, so I glued it back on. I gave it a few days so it can cure. And now it's ready to go back into the housing. So this is the headlight housing right here, as you can see. I've taken it apart. It was kind of already apart because, that white piece right here is supposed to snap into this black ball joint right here, but that was already loose because, on the other side there's 2 tabs. Those were already broken, so I just, pulled the white piece off of the ball joint and I glued it back onto that. So basically what you do is you, align this hole in that guide pin with this ball joint and that little guide right there, and then you just snap the reflectors, the bowls, back into the whole headlight unit right here, and yeah, you're good to go. But one thing I wanted to highlight with these cars, these 90s BMWs, that they were just so technically advanced at the time. These factory Xenons right here, there's a little plug for vertical aim control. So basically what that is when you're driving the car at night, depending on your acceleration, the headlights actually move up and down automatically. And of course, if you hit the brake, they point downwards a little bit, but if you accelerate, they go upwards. And it's really cool to see the R&D that the money that BMW spent with research and development into the technology behind all these cars. So really cool to see. My car did not have xenons from the factory, so it doesn't have that wire as part of the harness, but really it's no big deal in my case. I just need the lights to work. So that's what we're going to be doing here. That's one end. Now we just got the ball joint in the bottom. So I'm just trying to get the ball joint to go in from behind, and I'm forcing it with the screwdriver, and I got it in. Awesome. Just like that. I don't know how well you guys can see in there, but that black ball joint is now in that white bracket. And so is the one on the top, so good to go. Alright guys, so now you can see mission accomplished. We were able to get the projector with the bowls back in the housing itself, and now when I wiggle it from the back here, it doesn't really move freely anymore. The problem was because that bracket was broken where that ball joint goes in, this would just flop around freely, and that's obviously not the way it's supposed to be, but now we got it taken care of, so now we're ready to just clean it up, throw the lenses on, and then throw them in the car. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to take these headlights out, and these actually come out really easily. You want to take your screwdriver and get these turn signal housings out. After that, we want to take this trim out. It's just held in with clips, so easy. After that, we want to take the headlight out, and we got 4 bolts that we need to take out. We got one up here, another one in here, and one right behind the headlight assembly itself. So in order to do the job, you will need an 8mm socket with an extension. So basically at that point we're ready to take the headlight out, but first we're going to unplug all the connections to make sure that nothing gets caught. So what we're also going to do is remove all this existing aftermarket HID components, because we no longer need them, because the OEM high beams for the xenon headlights actually have a ballast right part of the headlight. So now we're basically ready to put in the new headlight. Alright guys, so now we got the new headlight right here. As you can see, I took the lens cover off of the one I had on the car before because it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot better, and I swapped it right after I cleaned it up. So now we're ready to put it back in the car. And there we go. Would you look at that? It's kind of hard to tell the difference a little bit, but you know, I'm a huge lighting geek, and you can tell, you know, the aftermarket projector is a little bigger, but you know, nothing really beats OEM, and that's really what I wanted, because like, you know, I got these parts from the retrofit source, and I'm not trashing the retrofit source in any way. It's really me for why the reason my aftermarket setup didn't really work. But like I said, nothing beats OEM, and I'm just an OEM Plus kind of guy. So we got the OEM lights in, and dude, I can't believe just how good they look. Look at it. It's before and after. I'm gonna do the other side, put it all back together, and then we'll get a comparison. It just looks 1,000 times better. If you're familiar with E46s, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but I just can't get over how good it is. OEM versus aftermarket. Alright guys, so now after we just put the headlights in the car, we're going to the parking garage in Doylestown because I want to make sure that the headlights are actually aligned the way they should be. And I don't know if they've ever been touched, if they've ever been messed with, but it's good to just do it anyway and make sure that your lights are pointing the right way. So let's check it out. Alright guys, so finally we're here in the garage, exactly where we need to be, you know, the perfect place to align our headlights. So as you can see, I've got the lights on. They look pretty good. They look pretty well aligned, you know. The headlights are probably, you know, about 4 feet, 5 feet apart roughly. So of course when the light beam is shine on the wall, they look pretty good, but we're going to make sure that it's aligned anyway. So with that, I've found a guide online which I'm going to use. If you Google Daniel Stern lighting, you'll be able to find it, but you know, it pretty much walks you through exactly what you need to do, the steps you need to do to make sure you're right. You know, like depending on how high your headlight is, exactly how it should be shining. So with that, I'm going to be doing that, and then we'll be good to go. So as you can see, in doing the steps, I backed the car up, and both of the beams looks like they both need to be adjusted, so we'll go ahead and do that, because the center of each beam, you can see one's here and one's here. They should both correspond to these marks I put on the wall, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, that's how you do that. So as you can see, got the headlights aligned. Really easy. I just used an Allen key. Headlights are pointing exactly where they should, you know, when they're up close or when they're far away. So that's exactly what we were aiming for, so we took care of that, and now we're good to go. So, Alright guys, so that was the vlog. I know that it sounded like I was all over the place, that there were so many different aspects of this vlog, me doing so many different things, but I figured that if I'm doing car stuff, you guys probably want to see it, so more content for you, right? So yeah, basically that's just what I wanted to show you guys. I took care of all that stuff. I got the headlights aligned. You know, you want to do it in a parking garage because you can actually see what you're working with, and you have all the space you need. You have that 25 feet that you need, so you can back away from the wall and make sure that your headlights are leveled correctly. Of course, there's always going to be someone who's going to say, well, you know, what the hell are you doing? Like, adjusting headlights, you know, it looks like it's suspicious, or, you know, that you're doing something, you know, up to no good. But nonetheless, mission accomplished. Headlights are in the car. It looks pretty good, as you can see. And we're good to go. Yeah, I actually just washed the car too, so it's, you know, looking real good. Check out that reflection. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So like I said, vlog is all over the place, but it's all car stuff, so we're all good. So with that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Please check out my Instagram page at Garage Denali. And with that, I'll see you later. Thank you very much. Take care.